Okay, guys, today we're going to talk about solids, liquids, and gases. And I wanted to just show you this video and go over a few things in it that I really liked and a few other things that I really didn't like about it, and kind of fine tune our ideas of what it means to be a solid, a liquid, or a gas in terms of the kinetic molecular theory. So let's start this video, and I'm going to stop and pause and hopefully talk through some of the things. Okay, so we're going to look today at the arrangement of particles in solids, liquids, and gases. Okay, so here we go.
Arrangement of particles in solids, liquids, and gases. Matter in all three states is made up of particles. In a solid, the particles are closely packed in an ordered arrangement. In a liquid, the particles are loosely arranged but still close together.
Okay, I want to stop there. If you look at this graphic of this liquid, we have a lot of open space in here. And in reality, in a liquid, we don't have that much open space. The liquids are not arranged in this perfect crystalline structure like we see in the solid. The molecules can move back and forth across each other, but there is not all this space. So I don't really
In a
like
gas,
that.
the particles are not arranged in any particular way. The particles that make up matter are constantly in motion. In a solid, the particles do not move around but vibrate about their fixed positions. In a liquid, the particles move around quite fast and slide past each other. In a gas, the particles move around much faster than in a liquid. They move randomly. The particles have empty spaces between them. The spaces contain nothing. In a solid, the particles have small spaces between them.
Okay. Yes, there are small, very, very small spaces between the particles in a solid, but they're so small that really, in all reality, it doesn't give us much room. We really can't compress. We couldn't put more pressure on the solid and make it any smaller than it already is. The spaces between the particles in the solid are so small that all the particles can do is vibrate, like it said, amongst the fixed points.
In a liquid, the particles have small spaces between them but larger than in a solid.
Okay, the liquid, the spaces are a little bit bigger. That's why liquids are a little bit bigger in terms of they have a little bit lower density than solids do of the same compound, except for a few things. But the spaces still aren't very large. Most of the particles in a liquid are right next to each other, but they are not held in that perfect crystalline pattern that we see here in the solid. They are able to move freely back and forth across each other, but there really isn't much space.
Gas, the particles have very big spaces between them compared to solids and liquids. The particles attract each other. In a solid, the forces of attraction between the particles are very strong. These forces hold the particles together. In a liquid, the forces of attraction between the particles are weaker, so the particles are not held together and move about.
Those forces of attraction are less in a liquid, but they are still strong enough that the attraction between molecules keeps those molecules close to each other. That's what keeps the liquid state, because we've got to have those molecules really close to each other, otherwise it becomes a gas. So we still have relatively strong forces between those particles. They're just not as strong as a liquid or as a solid. I'm sorry, misspoke. The solid are the strongest because it keeps that in a nice crystalline arrangement.
In a gas, the forces of attraction are extremely weak, so the particles move about freely. Think about a pure substance such as mercury. It is a solid below negative 39 degrees Celsius. It is a liquid between negative 39 degrees Celsius and 357 degrees Celsius. When heated above 357 degrees Celsius, it turns into a gas. The particles that make up mercury when mercury is a gas, a liquid, or a solid are exactly the same. Only the arrangement of the particles, the forces between them, the empty spaces between them, and the speed of the particles are different.
Okay, so this is a very good summary. Solids, particles are closely packed in, they have an ordered arrangement, they move about a fixed point, so that means they have a fixed volume and a fixed shape, okay, because they're in crystalline structures. Liquids, they have a little bit looser, they are able to move about, but they still are relatively close together. Because they're able to move about, they're able to flow. So we have no fixed shape, but we do have a fixed volume, okay? And gases, the particles are not arranged in any particular order, and so they can flow about, and because they move super randomly, they can go to whatever size the container is. So they have no fixed shape, they have no fixed volume, and they are able to be compressed because we have huge spaces between them. All right, so this gives us a little summary of solids, liquids, and gases. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.